If you're a woman wondering why running your business feels so overwhelming, it's probably because you built it blindfolded. And now you're spending a lot of time fumbling around trying to find somebody's system, somebody's framework to help you get a handle on things when there's one thing that you need clarity on before you try anything else. Welcome to Innate Advantage. I'm Vanessa Harris, and what do I mean when I say you built your business blindfolded? Well, I'm going to tell you what I don't mean first. I don't mean that you didn't do your due diligence in planning, preparing, and by that I mean either you started with an idea and you verified that there was a market that was viable for it, or you started with a gap that you saw in the market and you were like, oh, I have an idea to solve the problem. And so you did. And you did all the things that everyone says to do to get your business up and running. And so now why are you overwhelmed? Well, once you got started and you realized what it really took, you find yourself playing catch up in a lot of areas because the work that you're having to do in your business, a lot of it is stuff that does not come naturally to you. And so it is a kind of forced labor, and anything forced is not going to be done well, and it's not going to feel good for any length of time. And so that's where the overwhelm is coming in, because no one who's running these businesses and having these courses and these master classes and these masterminds are fessing up about the fact that a lot of why they're able to do what they do so well is because of how they are built themselves. As the founder, you're the foundation. It's not simply, oh, I have an idea and these things outside, external to me, are in place and I'll just make it happen. You are the person making it happen. You have the vision and you're the one who powers the vision. You're the one who brings it to life. You're also going to have to be the one that propels this vision forward. And so if you're having to bring all this energy to it, it has to be, your business has to be designed in a way that you can sustainably continue to bring that energy. It can't be a business that you build that fights how you're wired or demands you to show up in a way that you don't normally show up in any area of your life. Your business should be an extension of you. It's just a commercial extension of you. But it should not force you or have you contort yourself into a position that you can't sustain. If you've been to the circus and you've seen the contortionists, they do amazing things, but it's only for a few minutes. They can't stay that way all of the time because that is not their natural position. And you and I have ways that we are naturally wired. I use the word wired because it's the best way to explain the way that you are, that you have been since you've been born. If you're a talker now, you have always been a talker. You were babbling, talking. You were talking early. You were getting in trouble in school for talking. And now it behooves you to have a business that allows you to do a lot of talking, because talking is what comes natural to you. Talking is how you can best connect with your clients, how you can best connect with your employees, how you can best connect with vendors, so that you can communicate the vision and assemble people to help you bring the vision forward. You do it through communication. You do it through talking with people. Whereas if someone else is more of a numbers person, they like to find patterns, they like to find problems that they can solve. And so they like the books. The books would be boring to the person who loves to talk, but this person loves the books. They don't want to be the face. If they had to be the face most of the day, that would be draining. They come alive by doing what they have a natural propensity toward, which is crunching those numbers. So we have to know what we're like naturally, what things we have always been drawn to, the things that we do subconsciously that other people around us don't do, the things that we're known for. And we have to build our business in support of those things, where those things can come to the forefront and those can be the majority of what we do. in our business so that we can work in our business for as long as possible and enjoy it, because we're doing what we do all the time. It's just now it's profitable for us. But that's something that we don't consider when we're starting a business. We have this if this then that approach that computer programmers have, where you have a model of computers and you need to put in, if these things are true, then execute this function. Well, that works for computers because they are created to be exactly the same and to work exactly the same. And so you can give them the exact same commands and you want it to be that they all do it. We are not computers. We are people. We are individuals. And the same way that we know about our fingerprints being different, there are ways that we see life and respond to life and engage in life that is different than the person next to us and the person even in our family. And we have to acknowledge that in our business so that we can be as successful in the business as we want the business to be. It has to go hand in hand. So when I'm talking about how you're wired and knowing how you're wired and that being the thing that's missing, that you're not aware of, that is leading to your overwhelm, I'm talking about you need to know how you reason, how you relate, and how you respond. Let's break that down. When I say how you reason, I'm referring to the ways that you think, the ways that you problem solve, the ways that you make decisions. Those are ways that you do it that will be different to the way that I do it. And that's naturally. When people say there's more than one way to skin a cat, that's what that saying refers to. And there's more than one way to run a business. And different people arrive at things differently. They think through things differently. We also relate differently. There are some people that have a certain way that they relate to other people, whether it be their clients, whether it be their employees, whether it be vendors that they work with, whatever. There's a certain way that you relate to people that will be different to the way I relate to people. Some people are very outgoing and they never meet a stranger and they love talking, and they also talk through in groups. They like to problem solve in groups. There are other people who like to problem solve alone. Other people would be like noise to them. They need to problem solve alone and then present what they find to people. But the process of reasoning and then relating the information, they do that differently, right? And so you have to know that you're like that. Then I said how you respond. Business is full of having to pivot. And depending on the business you're in, that you're running, the pivots are more often than not. And so you have to know if you're the kind of person that responds well to pivots, if you welcome them or you resist them. And if you tend to resist change, you don't like surprises, you don't like a lot of variability in what you do day to day or what the company will require year to year, then you're not suited for that kind of a business, or you're not suited to have that role in your business to be riding the waves of pivots. And really, the visionary, the founder of the business needs to be the one who does navigate the pivots. And so if you're somebody who likes a lot of consistency, you don't like a lot of change, then you'd make a great accountant if you're good with numbers, because the numbers are the numbers. They work the way they work. And except for, the occasional thing that's like, okay, what happened to this? What's this money that's missing here? There's just not a whole lot of variability. You know what you're going to do day to day. And so you're comfortable doing that. You wouldn't feel overwhelmed because numbers are your jam. Consistency is king for you, or queen. And so that's your sweet spot. The problem is, because our wiring is so subconscious, we're not typically aware of those things that make us distinct from the woman next to us. The way that we are reasoning differently, the way that we relate differently, and the way that we respond differently. It's not really top of mind because it's so second nature to us. And so when we start businesses, we don't consider the fact that these attributes are integral parts of our lives. They have affected everything our entire lives. You can see the pattern from being a toddler to being in elementary school all the way through high school. the things that have been consistent, the things that people have pointed out to you, the things that maybe you have even not liked about yourself because they made you different from other people, are the exact things that you need to consider in how you are running your business so that you structure your business to support your design. And if it supports your design, then what you're doing in the business, not that it's easy. Running a business has a lot of challenges, but the challenge won't be how you need to show up in it. It might be the things that you can't control, the things that come your way and the waves you have to ride. But how you show up in the business will be a known factor because you have designed the business around how you function. You know what it's like, and we've all done it probably to some degree. There are a pair of shoes that you love. A pair of shoes that you love, you find out if they have your size, they don't have your size, but they have the next size down. And you figure, well, how many times am I going to wear the shoe? I just really need the shoe for this event. I'll just get the shoe. I can maybe just sit most of the time. Like we start reasoning what we're going to do and how we're going to make the shoe work. And then we're at the event and we think we're going to be sitting down most of the time, but it turns out there's not a whole lot of seating. So now we have to stand, and now our toes are screaming because we are wearing the wrong size shoe. It is the same thing that happens in your business. You decided to fit yourself into something that really looked great and really sounded like a good idea, and other people are really making money at it. But when you go to do it and you bring who you are, you realize this requires things of me that I don't naturally have. And I'm not talking about a skill that you can go learn. I'm not talking about a learned ability. I'm talking about your inherent assets. There are things about you that you have, and you have them for a reason. And they are supposed to inform the business that you operate in or how you function within your business. They are your innate advantages. They are the things that not only make you different, but make you distinct from the next person, so that two of you can have the same type of business, but the way it runs and how people experience it are totally different, because the people who have set the vision in motion, the people who are operating these businesses, are very different and prioritize different things. And so they draw people, they draw customers who value those same things. But if you're busy trying to be someone else and spending a lot of your time learning abilities that really don't have the same, you can't just exchange a skill for an innate ability. A skill has to be learned. Your ability, innate ability, you were born with. It's natural to you. It's as easy as breathing. Those don't equate. And so if you're spending a lot of your time having to learn skills in order to operate in your business, you're not doing it well, right? Compared to if you just did what comes naturally to you. You could do that at 100%. Some learned skill you're doing, you're having to take time away from your business to learn the skill, and then you're implementing the skill halfway. And so really, how is that profiting you or the business when you could be structuring your business around what you're naturally wired to do, your actual innate ability, and then you delegate the stuff that does not suit you, the stuff that you don't have a natural ability for, you delegate to someone who does have that natural ability. Then everybody in the business is doing what they're great at, and they do it with relative ease, because that's what wired is. When you build your business around how you're wired, you work in relative ease daily. Not that business is easy, but your work in it is relatively easy because you're doing what you do in all the other facets of your life. You're not having to come into your business and put on like a superhero costume and become somebody else to sort of do what needs to be done. You can come into your business and do exactly what you do well and contribute maximally, and allow other people to contribute maximally as well. And if you're thinking, well, I don't have the money to hire other people, well, this is where AI comes in. Whether we like it or not, you can use AI to at least supplement your attempts in the areas that don't work for you. Let AI supplement that. Let that be an external advantage for you in the areas where you quite frankly, are whack at. I was born in 72, and I'm from New York. So whack is a term that we use regularly, because I don't want to say weak, because if I say it's your weakness, then you'll go, oh, well, I'll just get stronger in that area. No, if you don't have the ability, you don't have it. It's not about making it stronger. I mean, you don't have it. And so if you don't have it, trying to go get it while you're trying to run your business is just not the move. Emphasize, or if you want to gain skills, gain a skill in what you're already strong in, so that you can become stronger in that. And you can leverage your innate abilities for your company, for your business, and allow other people, or allow software, allow AI to help you do what you can't do well and what you don't do well, until you make enough so that you can hire the help that you want, who will probably also use AI anyway. But the point of the matter is, you have a vision. You had a vision for your company for a reason, and you're the one to bring it to pass. And you have to have the energy to do it. And if you're doing a lot of tasks in a day that drain you because you never thought about the things that really drive you, then it's time to reframe and restructure. And if you want more clarity as to whether or not what you're going through is just, the nature of business, it's temporary for a season, that, figuring out the kinks, and, things will work out eventually, because that's what we women tell ourselves. Oh, this is just, everything will work out. I just need to keep doing this a little bit longer and everything will fall into place. Okay. Let's not do insanity and do the same thing over and over. That's not working. Let's get proactive. And what you can do is figure out, okay, is what I am experiencing as overwhelm really temporary, really just my personal growing pains as a founder? Or is it because I have structured my business on a foundation that does not work and I need to restructure it? If you look in the description box below, there is a checklist that you can get your hands on that will make it crystal clear really quick. You'll see whether or not this is really overwhelm, or if this is something that'll pass, and you'll know the next steps to take care of that. And as you do the checklist, I want you to consider some things. What are the parts of your business that you actually enjoy and that you do with ease? And how can you restructure your business so that you do more of that? You may not be able to do all of that right now, but where your day is more of that rather than more of the things that really exhaust you because of the amount of effort you're having to give to do something that doesn't come naturally. And it's taking you away from really showing up in your business the way you would like, and you're overwhelmed by it. Think about that as you go through the checklist. Meet me back here next time where we'll unpack this even more. Because here's what I want you to remember. Building a business doesn't have to ruin your quality of life. You can design a business, structure a business around how you are wired so that you are working in relative ease daily. Until next time, take care.